Good day. Lifting everyone up from St. Patrick's Adoration Chapel. Today we reflect on the Psalm at the Liturgy for today, March 26th, Psalm 106. Amazing deeds in the land of Ham, fearsome deeds at the Red Sea. He would have decreed their destruction had not Moses, his chosen one, withstood him in the breach to turn back his destroying anger. This is a psalm that is inviting us not to have a bad image of God, but to remember a good or better image of God, or just to move from remembering to forgetfulness back to remembering again, in the biblical sense. See, the reason why we have a memory, and this will help us to pray with our memory and even heal our memories. Today, Lord, I pray, heal any bad that is in my memory, any wrong use of my memory. You see, our memory, it was made to remember the good more than the bad. If we remember the bad more than the good, then we will misperceive reality. An abused person will see maybe everyone as, or an innocent person as abusive, and misread reality. Or worse, if we continue to remember the bad more than the good, then we suffer from post-traumatic stress syndrome. We want to remember whatever helps us to move forward. Remember, St. Paul says he leaves behind the past and strives to move forward. When someone you love becomes a memory, the memory becomes a treasure. To forget in Hebrew means to be lost, to lose your roots, to forget who you really are, to forget who loved them. It's easy to think of the prodigal son here. What forgetfulness does to the family, to the heart of a family. Forgetfulness, like any addiction or idolatry, is something that affects everyone in the family, everyone in the human family. What can pull us out of this heartache, this brokenness, is to remember in the biblical sense. We remember in the biblical sense, it brings us out of any darkness. When the people read about Moses in these Psalms, it evokes a memory. And the memory is to bring them out of desolation caused by idolatry. Idolatry is not a stone figure that people worship in 2020. It might be a feeling that expresses a false reality. I feel like I'm fat, but I'm really not. Or a reason that does not present the truth, something that's irrational. These can all be forms of idolatry, or the idolatry of being out of a right relationship. Not having right relationship is the effect of idolatry. So, to remember in this way, though, like the people remembering Moses and what God did for them and what wondrous signs he did for them, pulling them out of Egypt into the promised land. To remember in this way can pull anyone out of their captivity, anyone out of darkness or even an addiction. And sometime I'll share more about that with so many experiences of dealing with addicted people. They come to know and remember someone who loved them, and it actually pulls them out of that attachment, unhealthy attachment. I remember my dad and my mom every day during this time of the year, the tax season. They would be working all day, and then at night, they had a little office downstairs, converted the garage into an office. They would meet with people and work until 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. Well, my brother and I slept in the room next door. We slept in the basement, and we could hear them working late hours at night. Whenever I was in a bad moment, maybe in my mind or heart, or a bad event, or in college, a lost moment, or even in the seminary, having doubts, or even later in life, the ups and downs of life, I remember back to the sacrifice that Mom and Dad was making and had made. And that would pull me out of that slump. And that's what remembering in the biblical sense does. So here when we read this verse, they forgot the God who saved them, who had done great deeds for them in Egypt, and then they mention Moses. It's again inviting them to move from forgetfulness to remembering in the biblical sense. I hope today that you have a memory of a Father's love. Father's love that is for you more powerful than sin, more powerful than death. And we will again evoke this memory more as we get closer to Good Friday and Easter. May you have a good memory today.